G'day, my name is Joel Rasmussen from Fight News Australia, and today I'm talking to Joseph Luciano. Joe, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Joel. It's good to hear from you again. Last time we spoke was before I won the title for Eternal, so it's good to have a bit of a catch up.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Huge things have happened for both of us. You, Eternal Welterweight Champion. Me, owner of 2 microphones now. After that interview, I went and I bought a second microphone. We've both stepped up our games. So how
Look,
does
I
it
think
feel?
I think your technology is a bit better than mine. I got my phone set up on a chair out here in Thailand, so
I
hopefully
think
the audio is not too bad for you.
the audio is good, but I think the piece of hardware you have now compared to the piece of hardware I have now is a little bit more impressive.
Thank you, mate. Thank
How
you.
does it feel to capture your first professional title in mixed martial arts?
Um, it's funny, like obviously there's quite a big build up in the lead to it, and you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And um, when I actually finished Caleb, and they announced the result in the cage, and they put the belt on me, it felt it wasn't the feeling I thought it'd be. It felt like another day in the office a little bit until I turned and looked at two of my teammates, Dylan and Sam and Simon, my coach, and I saw two of the boys were getting a little emotional, and then I went, "Oh fuck, I've actually really achieved something here," and um, it's nice to have something that represents that and represents the hard work that not only myself but those two boys and my coach put into me. So because we all know it, we all know the hard work that goes into it, but I suppose it's nice to have that little cherry on top, which is the title.
Of course, a
Yeah,
symbol of all that
yeah,
work.
exactly. What it represents, less the actual thing itself, of course.
Does that change the mentality at all? Of course, you said it felt like another day at the office, but like that is the pinnacle. You have the thing that represents being at the pinnacle.
Yeah, I think especially Australian MMA wise, Eternal at the moment and for the last number of years has been the premier organisation. And a lot of the boys, look at Jack Della, Jack Jenkins, like they've all been picked up from Eternal. So um, it is the big one in Oz MMA for sure. So yeah, it's cool, man. Nothing's changed. I've probably gone, oh shit. I've always had a fire lit under my ass with this. You're on a very limited time schedule for your athletic prime. So, if anything, more motivation. It's nice having people chasing you. Like you've got a bit of a target on your back, so it's always good. That's a bit of extra motivation. Not that that's necessarily needed, but it's always good. It's always good.
You spoke about it there that those emotions that you felt, you looked over at your training partners, at your coach. What is the kind of culture and the atmosphere at Absolute MMA like?
It's funny. This, no matter what happens inside the cage, is by yourself, right? But it is an absolute team sport, and you will not succeed without the people in your corner and chasing in the training room. So for me, like when I played soccer or football, it was like I was trying to succeed for the team and myself. This is the same thing, but you're in a more intense environment. So it's probably amplified. Like Dylan and Sam were actually my groomsmen at my wedding. So, like my coach was at my wedding, all the boys from the team were at my wedding, and those two in particular were part of my groomsmen. So it's like not only do they want the best for me as an athlete, they want the best for me as a person. And I think that just signifies everything we've got in the room. Like, Jack Jenkins has been out here at Absolute Thailand a couple of weeks ago. And, we're always like, you don't need to go, hey, Jack, train harder. It's just the example that everyone's leading for each other. It's like, oh, if you're having a bit of a shit day or not training as hard, you turn around and there's, 8 dudes, 10 dudes, 15 guys. And that's just the pros in the training room pushing. And you go, fuck, I got to lift too. So it's a really positive environment. And, it's not so much like that movie shit of going, yeah, bro, come on, man. It's just unspoken and unsaid, and everyone's just, on the grind and lifting each other and wants the best for each other. So it's a super positive environment. Very a real, not like when I say positive, I don't mean, everyone, you're so fantastic and everything you're doing is perfect. I think we've got a culture of realistic expectations and accountability in the gym for sure.
You mentioned there you're over in Thailand at the moment at Absolute Thailand. I know
Yeah,
it's not your
yeah, yeah.
I know it's not your first time being over there. Even though it's an absolute gym, does training in an absolute gym in Thailand still feel like home? Does it still feel like I'm at home, or is it a different feeling you get over there?
Obviously the brand Absolute means something to a lot of the guys that train here and work here. So there's a good culture with that. But because I've been coming here quite a lot and I've built a really good rapport with the trainers out here. So, obviously there's a bit of a language barrier and cultural nuances, but they send me videos of them watching my fight and going, way, way. So those guys actually, they give a fuck. So it's not just like, I'd say a lot of the gyms out here, you come, you go, that's it. Here, like, they've really embraced me and putting in the extra work and giving me a bit more of a whack on the pads than is probably necessary. But they're doing it for my success, and that's awesome out here. And there's technical nuances because we do MMA. We can only really hit so many things. There's only so many hours in a day, so it's lovely to come out here and work on some details, eat some nice food, lose some weight, and get prepped and ready. And so it's lovely. It's really good, really good.
You talk about there, obviously working with the locals. You're in Thailand, so there's obviously the big Muay Thai. You've got a Muay Thai background. That being said, the last time we spoke to each other, you were not a fan of being labeled as a jiu-jitsu guy or a submission
I
grappling.
wouldn't. Submission grappling, I'll take, but I'm definitely no jiu-jitsu guy. I mean,
You
we
won the
had the
title with
Craig
a rear
Jones.
naked.
I know. Look, like, I'm still going to say submission grappling. It's not what I'm doing is not quite jiu-jitsu just yet. I'm working on it though. We had the Craig Jones camp out here about a month ago for 2 weeks. And that obviously brought a lot of guys, high-level guys from all around the world. So having a role with them was definitely eye-opening. I can see why there is that fuck Craig Jones thing. It's true what they say about him. He's fucking excellent, and the guys he brought out were awesome too. So this trip, I've had a really good, basis of hitting all the ranges. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I'm not just out here doing Muay Thai as much as I'd love to, and maybe fight at Lumpini and be the Muay Thai guy. I'm definitely not. I'm submission grappling and I'm fighting MMA. So whatever you want to label me, I don't give a fuck at the moment. So
Still not warming up to the term. Still not warming up to it.
nah, I'm not a jits guy. I'm not a jits guy. I just got my purple belt. Like I think last year, Simo gave me my purple belt. So yeah, I think I was a 12-year blue belt. So I was hoping to hold on to that for the rest of my life. But Simo spoiled the party and gave me a purple. So yeah.
Forever white belt. Forever white belt.
Forever white belt mentality,
Yes,
bro.
exactly. Every day's a learning opportunity. White belt, 3 stripes,
Harder,
toughest in the gym.
harder, yeah.
You have signed to a new management. You're now with Rival
Yeah.
Sports. I
Yep.
was wondering and a bunch of your teammates have as well. I was wondering what are you hoping, like, what opportunities can come with signing to new management like that? There's obviously some big names under that umbrella already.
Yeah, they've got some great names, and what I really liked about Rival is they're proactive. They're based in Oz, they know the market in Oz, they've got great contacts. So it's like you've got a boxing coach for boxing, have a management coach a manager to manager. Same thing. And Simon Carson, our head coach, has been doing a lot of that, and he's only got so many hours in the day, and you need people to. Task delegation is important in anything, just as much with this. So, I look forward to really working with Rival, and so far, they've been on the grind for me. So I really appreciate that. Hope to cultivate a really mutually beneficial relationship for both of us. So, yeah.
Recently, within the week, a video was posted on the Absolute YouTube channel. I'm not sure how long ago it was filmed, of you and your teammate Khan Offley breaking down your fights.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you didn't seem thrilled with your performance. How do you feel
Um,
about that fight?
Look, I think I could get a 2-second KO, a 15-second submission, and I would still be discontent. That is the curse, and not only a curse because it has its benefits of being someone that wants to achieve as high as they can. So I maybe that came across as me as a bit of a bitter cunt. I'm not. I'm happy I won that championship. I'm happy how I won it. Of course, with any performance and fight camp, there's always things you need to improve on. And for probably 2 weeks after a fight, which I think that was 2 or 3 weeks after a fight, I'm in a pretty self-reflective headspace and a little bit disappointed in myself, even when I won the Eternal title and didn't really get punched or hit. So maybe it comes across a bit bitter, but it's not. It's just me being hard on myself and wanting to put forward the best performance, most exciting performance, finishing performance, dominant performance I can. Look, a submission in round 3 against a very good opponent's nothing to sulk about. So, yeah.
You mentioned after your fight, not in the cage, but afterwards, backstage, you mentioned you've been fighting and winning overseas for over 10 years. And now you finally
Yeah.
captured a title in Australia. How does that feel to be able to win one at home? In our last interview, you talked about how you've got family there. People were there to be able to watch. What was that like?
It was cool, a lot of people discredit or don't acknowledge the amateur stuff and the IMAF pathway and that sort of stuff I did. So, I was fighting overseas and winning, and only my parents and the guys at my gym really knew or gave a fuck. So it's nice to now be a professional and people go, oh, maybe that Joey's not just the guy that no one knows about. He's the guy that is doing the damn thing in Oz too. So, that's cool. Have my family there and, all the boys there. It's really lovely to fight in Australia and, make my mark in Australia. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. This is my home. It's always been my home. I love this. I love my country. So it's nice. Oh, when I'm a old, decrepit, hopefully not punch drunk, old dude coaching people, they go, oh yeah, he was the Eternal champ. And then he went on to bigger and better things too. But that was where he made his stamp in Oz. I want to follow in those footsteps too. So yeah.
Talking about that, and you mentioned it a little bit ago, that dream to fight in Lumpini. In that video that I referenced, Simon says to you, you just got offered to fight in Lumpini. I was wondering if you could expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So one championship is doing Lumpini Friday nights, which hilariously is on fucking Channel 7 in back home. So for anyone that, you don't have to get on the one app, it's on Channel 7. Like, how crazy is that? 10, 15 years ago, I never thought there would be MMA, on Channel 7. Like, you'd have to go to the pub and watch the UFC or, buy a card. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I got an offer to fight on one Lumpini. Be pretty full circle to go there and fight MMA, considering I hated MMA and wanted to fight Muay Thai. But look, my goal is and has been since I've fought MMA is the UFC, and I think it's that's the aim, the goal. So whatever I've got to do to get there, whether that's whatever it is, that's what I want. So yeah. But yeah, it's nice to be approached for stuff and by other top organizations and have people obviously sort of watching what I'm doing and being keen to get me on. So it's a little bit of flattery isn't bad for the ego, you know.
It's nice to feel wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think is next for you?
There's a few things in the works. Obviously, I've signed with that with Rival, the management company. So hopefully they can make a bit of a push for me. You know, I'm on I think a 6 or 7 fight win streak with 6 finishes in Oz, all credible opponents, putting them away. So you know, wherever that leaves me, ideally, be cool to get on Contender and then get in the UFC. If I got called straight up to the UFC, I think there's some rumors that they're fighting and having a show in Sydney at the end of the year. That'd be cool. Contender, that'd be cool. If if none of that happens, you know, I want to defend the eternal strap and really cement my place and be undeniable. That's important to me too. If I can't make the jump straight away, so you know, there's Aussies at the moment fighting all around the world. I think Shane Mitchell fought on PFL. Izzy fought on one. Izzy Fedakefu fought on one. Rob Wilkinson's in PFL. Um, Sarah Collins just fought on Bellator a couple of months ago. And obviously we've got, you know, that massive Australia and New Zealand presence in the UFC. So I think, you know, we're a small country with a small population, but we're always overachievers. And I want to keep that going and, you know, really have a crack wherever that can be.
My final question for you, Joe. I saw you mentioned after your fight, after your win, you celebrated with some cruisers. I'm a cruiser enjoyer myself.
Yeah.
What is your favorite or your top favorite flavors of cruiser?
So I'm, you know, calorie conscious, of course. So I think it was the sugar-free watermelons, the pink ones.
Beautiful
Not bad,
choice.
you know. But I won't lie to you. I reckon I had two, got a kebab, and then I was pretty knackered after that. So it wasn't some big kick-ons. I think we had people back at the apartment we had, and everyone had a laugh. And I just said thank you to everyone for being part of the process, and had two cruises, a kebab, and then went to bed.
The dinner of champions.
Yeah, yeah. That is the dinner of Aussie champions. I reckon couple of sugar-free cruises and a dirty kebab on the Goldie. So yeah, fuck.
Life doesn't get any better. Joe, thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks, Joel. Like, what I really appreciate about your interviews is you know, you train, and it's great to put spotlight on us, and we couldn't do it without guys like yourself. So thank you for having a chat again, and anytime, mate.
Of course, I'm just giving you what I think is your due respects.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Enjoy your time in Thailand, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon enough.
No doubt, mate. No doubt. Thanks, Joel.